You have just finished reading Macbeth by William Shakespeare, and it is time for your final project. You have been assigned and given the following documents. You have been given this, which is the Macbeth Final Project Overview, and it'll go through each one of the sections. It is also where you're going to link your final presentation. You've been given a paper that says complete summary on it, where you are going to write a 150 to 200 word summary, then paste that into your slide, read it, and record it. You are also given this, which is a choice of prompts to write a 150 to 200 word paragraph on one of the three topics, and then also paste that into a slide and record it. When you are done with the whole project, you will have a 7 to 10 slide deck that you will publish online as this project. So I'm going to go over each one of the sections very quickly. I will go over it in class, and I will also be available for questions over the next week. So the first set of slides is to choose 5 to 8 slides that you have already created. So if you have been creating audio slides as we've moved through the play, you will simply choose the slides that you want for this presentation. If you click on this link, it will take you to this document, which is a complete list of all of the passages with their names. So you can think about it. What do you need to do? So a minimum of 1 slide per act. So there are 5 acts, you can see them, and a minimum of 1 slide from each one of those acts for a total of 5. You have the opportunity here for 3 extra credit slides, which will earn you upwards of 10 extra credit points on this. So if you're looking for extra credit and you did project slides, you can choose 3 extra slides. Now the 5 have to come 1 from each act, but the extra slides can come from just different sections. So for example, if I choose hand in hand here, I can't choose come you spirits. If I choose is this a dagger, I could choose gates of hell, drink and lust, dagger smiles. And so you can see all of them except for acts 1 and 4 have multiple choices. So you have to choose 1 slide per act, and you can only choose 1 per section. Okay, and if you're unclear about that, if you're not sure, just send me a quick email and ask me, and I can explain it. So what you're going to do is simply choose those slides and gather them together. Now, if you find that, oh no, I didn't do a slide for Act 2, don't worry, because you were assigned this complete slide deck. So it has every one of the slide templates on it, and they correspond. So if you go, oh no, I didn't do one from Act 1, then you can come here to the audio slide, and there are the 2 slides from Act 1. You can do your recording, create the slide. So I've provided everyone with a template for all of the slides. So if you're missing one, it's right here. You don't have to go back and find the assignment. If you have all your own slides, all you're going to do is delete all these. So I'm just going to delete all of these slides, and then I'm just going to paste in my own, right? So I can just delete all these and then just paste in my own slides. I've only provided these here in case you need to make one up. The next part you can see is called the complete summary, and this is 2 parts. The first part is this document where I want you to write it. Now I want you to write it here in the document because this document has spell check, it has grammar check, and it'll be in this form so you can just copy and paste it into the slide rather than writing it in the slide. You could write it in the slide and then copy and paste it in here. That's your call, but I want it in this document. What do I want you to do? Well, you're going to attempt to summarize the whole play from beginning to end. The best way for you to do that is to think about the 5 acts, the 5 chapters, the 5 sections. And so I've helped you out by giving you this rough outline for you to think about. Act 1 is where the witches give the predictions to Macbeth that he will be king, and he kind of freaks out on that, right? Writes his letter to his wife, and then she kind of freaks out on it. And remember, she calls up on the dark spirits. She comes up with the whole plot. Act 2 is where they kill the king. And then he gets freaked out on the blood. Oh no, my hands are blood. My hands are your color. The daggers, they freak out on it, right? There's somebody knocking on the gates of hell. Act 3, he's paranoid about Banquo, so he has Banquo killed, but then he freaks out on the ghost, right? He freaks out, the ghost comes, the ghost is bloody, which brings us to Act 4, where he goes and he asks the witches, they give him these riddles, and what does he do? He freaks out on Macduff, and so has the whole family killed. The final act, Act 5, is where Lady Macbeth commits suicide, and Macbeth kind of freaks on that and then gives his tomorrow and tomorrow speech. Why do I have the freak on? Because I want you to be thinking about how Macbeth starts off at the beginning as a stable, heroic kind of guy, but each one of his actions, he has problems with it. It doesn't make him happy. It doesn't make things better. As a matter of fact, it just causes another problem. So thinking about it, what are the witches' predictions? What happens when he kills the king? What happens when he kills Banquo? What are the apparitions and the riddles from the witches? And then in the end, how does Lady Macbeth die? And then how does Macbeth end up dying himself? So 150 to 200 words. I told you throughout the play that this would be one of your goals, is to be able to retell the play to somebody in a relatively short number of words. So put it in here, and when you have it in here, then you go to your slide and notice that the first slide in the deck is your complete summary. So you're going to take that and you're just going to paste it into this. The next and the final part is a single slide, which is a response slide. And this is also at the very end of the deck. It's this very last slide. It's where you can post it. So I want you to notice the summary is at the start and the response is at the end, okay, in the slides. So the response is asking you to choose one of these 3 topics and write a 150 to 200 word paragraph. I also want you to notice, I want you to refer to one of your other slides for support. So let me give you an example. You say you choose to write about the theme of conscience, how conscience affects Macbeth, Lady Macbeth. I want you to think of how conscience affects Macduff, right? Because he takes off to England, his whole family ends up slaughtered. So it is his conscience which drives him to avenge their deaths. How about Malcolm? He has run away and left Scotland to Macbeth to be destroyed. His guilty conscience has him get up and go back to reclaim. So say you decide you're going to write about that in the play and explain the theme of conscience. Make sure that you choose reading audio slides that have that idea in them. If you're not sure what they are, I will be going over them briefly in class. But again, if you look at all of these, which one, in your opinion, has to do with the theme of conscience? And that's part of your assessment here. So the first one is fate. Not only how Macbeth challenges fate, but he only challenges it when it's like convenient, right? He's all excited about fate when it's delivering him what he wants, but when it seems that fate is going to deliver him something he doesn't want, he challenges it. So I'm going to expect you to give examples of when he's very happy about what fate tells him, and then other times when he has decided to challenge fate. The theme of conscience, I just explained it, that idea that there are numerous characters, definitely Macbeth and Lady Macbeth, but I want you to also think about Macduff and what he does. So how is this theme of conscience and how it affects these characters? The last one is to think about the motif, this image of blood. So the image of blood is used both in positive ways and in negative ways. And I've tried to explain that throughout the play. So think of any cases in which blood is symbolic. Can you explain its symbolism in a given scene? Can you give me one example of where blood was good and one example of when blood was negative? And again, trying to find audio slides that are about the motif of blood. So if you're going to do fate, you find audio slides that have passages that have to do with fate. If you're going to do conscience, find the audio slides that were about conscience. Have at least one. And then finally, make sure you include something that has to do with blood if you're going to write about that. Other than choosing your audio slides for this, I want you to know that you should choose the audio slides that A, you have completed already, and B, those that you think you did a particularly good job at. Because I want to let you know here at the top, be prepared to have your presentation shared. Okay, they will be shared anonymously, and if you have a major problem with it, I will give you an opportunity to opt out. But it is my plan to share some of these presentations. So if I select your presentation and you have not told me you do not want it shared, I will be making those public anonymously. So again, to go over it very quickly, first you're going to choose a set of 7 to 10 slides, ideally that you've already created, and you're going to put them together. Which slides are you going to choose? Well, you're going to look at the response and you're going to make sure that you choose at least one that fits your topic. Otherwise, you're just going to pick the slides that you either did or the ones that you're particularly happy with. You're going to make sure that in addition to writing this paragraph, you write a summary paragraph. Both of these pieces of writing are really the only additional thing that this final project requires. If you did the audio slides, you don't need to make them, you just combine them. If you have been paying attention, you should be able to summarize it. This paragraph, the response prompt, is going to be also a little bit of a mastery assessment of whether you understood these deeper, more sophisticated ideas. When you have your audio slide deck done, and I'll say it again, make sure that you can either copy and paste these slides in or just get rid of the ones you don't need. And I will be posting a little bit later a tutorial on how exactly to do this. But for right now, all you need to do is create your deck, publish it to the web, and then link your online presentation here in this paper. When you turn in your work, you will be turning in all 4 of these. You'll be turning in this document, you'll be turning in the summary document, the response document, and this Macbeth slide deck. So even if you don't publish it to the web, everything's going to be turned into me. All of this will be given 1 week to complete. If you are unable to have it completed in the week, you need to contact me via email and request an extension. If you have any other questions about this, I really encourage you to email me with specifics or to set up some other video conferencing or to just hang a little while after class and ask me some questions. I'll be seeing you in class with more explanation, and good luck.